Hello, my lovelies. Welcome back to True Talk Tuesday, where I give you the real deal on real estate. Tonight is about realtor. It's about me. I have been asked several, some really odd questions, and I thought, why not? Why not answer them? All right. So tonight is a night for you to ask me any question that you would like to ask me, and I will answer it. I have questions on my green hair. I have questions on whether or not I would disclose if I knew the house was haunted. So I've got some rather interesting questions. If this is your first time here, by the way, my name is Shalisa Muehlberger. I am a realtor here in Central Florida. I am actually out of Lakeland. I work for S&D Real Estate Services here in Lakeland. I absolutely love my brokerage, by the way. My brokerage is A++. So if you're going into real estate and you're wondering if what brokerage to get into, S&D is a big one. As far as I think it's a big one, right? I think we're small, but I think it's a good one to be a part of. I am a mentor to two amazing agents that are learning the business. And then also on Monday, every other Monday, I do something with the brokerage where I lead a discussion with other veteran agents that will help newer agents build their business. So that's kind of what I do. I have taken what I know about real estate and I have started to implement it into other areas because man, do I miss teaching. I miss teaching so much. So I had to figure out a way to still get teaching in. As always, if you're here, say hello. Let me know. I see that we do have somebody watching. Um, so if you're here, just say hi. If you don't want to, I understand. I promise, though, I won't embarrass you if you say hello. All right. I'll just say hello back. All right. So, first question that I got was actually about my hair. And it's funny, I do use my hair as kind of a litmus test. There are people that'll come up to me and be like, "Ew, what's up with your hair?" And I know immediately, like, they're not going to do business with me because of that reaction, right? But then there are people that are like, "Oh, I think your hair is cool." And I know I can have further conversations with them. Uh, why do I have green hair? So, long story short, and some of you guys have heard this, especially if you know me. Um, I am something called a haunter. My husband and I have a hobby where we help build, design, and scare act and manage haunted attractions. So if you've known me long enough, you'll see, I think you might be able to see like a little skeleton right there. That's a planter, by the way. Um, there's a lot of weird stuff in this room, but our house looks continuously like Halloween because we do a lot of things with haunted attractions. And so we have a lot of props around. We have a lot of things that we're making for haunted attractions, that kind of thing. My hair is because of that. My hair actually, about 6 years ago, yeah, because my granddaughter is 6 years old. So about 6 years ago, I was going to play a character that had the mask had teal blue hair. So I went to dye my hair teal blue. When we bleach my hair, it turns yellow. You put blue on top of it, turns lime green. I was UV reactive. I was helping manage a cast of about 160 actors at that time. And anytime I went into the clown maze, you knew I was there because my hair would just illuminate. It was great. But my granddaughter was born about that time, and about that time, right after that, is when COVID hit. Couldn't see my grandbaby. So the only pictures that she had was with me with green hair. So I knew that once I saw her again, I had to have green hair and make sure that I kept it. And she loves it. She does not want me to change it. Like I said, she is 6 years old, and she's like, nope, nope. I have been asked, what do my grandbabies call me? Because I have two grandbabies. And my grandbabies call me Scare Mom because of the haunted attraction stuff. They have little monsters that they can play with here at our house. We have little like Barbie haunted house that my granddaughter plays with, and our grandson, he plays with whatever he wants to play with. But They have, Lego blocks and stuff like that here, but they also have little monsters that they can play with. So my green hair is because I was playing a character one time and my granddaughter liked my green hair and she still likes my green hair. So it has become a part of my brand. So you can easily recognize me out and about because you're like, oh, there's Shalisa, the green hair. All right. Okay, cool. So I'm going to keep it. I don't see it going away anytime soon. So people have asked about the green hair. That's the deal. That's what it is about the green hair. All right. Uh, okay. I was looking to see if anybody had said anything. I was like, what's going on? This light is a little too much for me right now. It's right in my eyes, and I'm like, I don't want it. All right. So the other questions that were sent in. All right. This one was interesting, and it took me a minute. I didn't really know how I was going to answer this one. All right. So the question was, if your skeleton key logo, because I do have, I don't know if this one has it on there or not. Yeah, it does. All right. So I have like a little skeleton key logo, right? So the question was, and these are my old cards, so whoever asked this, they still have one of my old cards. So if your skeleton key logo came to life at midnight, what would it unlock first? And would you want to know? And this one, I didn't know how to answer this one. I really didn't. Like, what would my skeleton key unlock? Well, it's kind of like it has a little mushroom on it. So, and I would think my skeleton key would be able to unlock any door that helps my buyers and sellers. And absolutely, I want to know. So my skeleton key, I would say, opens up any door for my buyers or sellers in order for them to achieve their goals. So that's it. I know that's lame. I'm sappy. Leave me alone. All right. 2, you sell houses and make fairy houses. At what point does a house become too whimsical to list on the MLS? Oh, I loved this question too. All right. I actually was just talking about this on Facebook. If you go to my Facebook account, there's a picture of a what is it? Baseboard. My brain was like, what's that word? Baseboard. There's a picture of a baseboard and it has like a little mouse hole. It's vinyl, right? It's a little mouse hole and it has 2 mice from Cinderella on it, right? And they're dancing in front of their little mouse hole, right? And it's cute, it's whimsical. And so I asked my Facebook group, I was like, hey, should this be painted over? Should we leave it for buyers to see? And resoundingly, leave it. It's whimsical. It's cute, right? And that's absolutely true. When it becomes overwhelming is when every single room has this very, very heavy whimsy. Like, I am whimsical. That's why I use the hashtag whimsical realtor. I'm whimsical. So you see, like, if I move my microphone out of the way, you can kind of see, like, there's a bunch of stuff. I've got books and I've got all kinds of things hanging and plants and my emotional support plan over here, right? I've got all kinds of whimsical stuff hanging around. I've got gnomes, right? There's a lot. There's a lot. This, if I was to sell my house, this would have to go in storage. This would need to be pared down. I've got a lamp back there that's made of tarot cards, right? Like, I would have to put that in storage. My little fairy houses, I would definitely have to put in storage. So when does it become too whimsical? I'm a maximalist, as you can tell. I would say you need to pare it down and make it very simple and clean, because what happens is people want to come in and they want to see themselves in a house. And if your house kind of looks like this, they can't see themselves in this house, right? All they see is this very overbearing whimsy. So pare it down, make it look like a magazine. Making sure that your family photos are gone. The skulls that hold your plants are no longer there, right? Like, So you want to make sure that you've kind of simplified. But when it gets too whimsical is when you can no longer see somebody else living there. If you're selling the house, you need to make sure that somebody else can see themselves there. Uh okay. So this one is green hair, haunted attractions in real estate. Walk me through the exact moment someone decided to combine all three. And there was no moment. There wasn't like a moment that I said, "Oh, I'm going to do all three of these." It just like life happens. Like I said, the green hair was because I was playing a character in a haunted attraction. Uh, her name was Isiodora. She was a cool character to play. Loved playing that character. But that's when I got my green hair, and I kept it, like I said, because my granddaughter. Haunted attractions. I have actually been interested in theatrical productions since I was in middle school. And then when I was in high school, my aunt actually did a haunted house on Halloween night, and I enjoyed it immensely because I enjoy acting. I enjoy character development. I enjoy story, and I enjoy entertainment. So I did that when I met my husband. He also enjoys that kind of stuff. So we ended up, first of all, just being Halloween Horror Night fans, really deep into Halloween Horror Nights. If you are an old Halloween Horror Nights fan, you might remember something called The Vault, which was a forum. And we were a part of The Vault. We would go hang out all the time when we were, Halloween Horror Nights was great. And then we had an opportunity to work a haunted attraction, and we did. We learned quite a bit. And then we went to another haunted attraction. When that one ended, we went to a different haunted attraction, learned even more, and I got the experience to be able to manage cast and put in systems so that way a production could run really well. Uh, so that's kind of what happened. It just organically happened. It was part of our life, and we walked into it. Real estate. Real estate happened because I was done with being a teacher. I had wanted to be a teacher since I was 4 years old. I loved teaching. Teaching was my life. My students were my life. I absolutely adored all my kids, but teaching got very toxic after COVID. And for my own mental health, I needed to do something differently. So I ended up becoming an admin and director of operations for a real estate team. And that's how I got into real estate. I was too good at my job as admin and realtor, as real estate director of operations. I was really good with the people. So I ended up getting my own real estate license. And here I am. Here I am. All right. This one was a fun one. This one was funny. If a property had a ghost, would you disclose it? Or would that just be a selling point for you personally? Look, here in the state of Florida, we do not have to disclose if a house is haunted, right? Or if a death has occurred in the house. We do not have to disclose that. If I think you're going to dig it, if I think you're going to be like, is there a ghost in that house? I want that house. I want to buy a haunted house. Like that, I will probably tell you. But if I know it weirds you out, I'm not going to say anything to you because I also don't know your belief system. Like you might not believe in ghosts. So I'm not going to say, hey, there's a ghost there and you not believe it. And then you look at me like I'm crazy, right? Not going to happen. So I'm only going to say something if I know you're cool with it. Otherwise, you might just see me go, just looking out the corner of my eye and stuff, right? But no, we do not have to disclose that here in Florida. So I probably wouldn't because I don't know how you're going to feel about it. Right? If I knew how you feel about it, I would say something, but if I don't, then I don't want to freak you out. All right? I'm very self-conscious about making sure other people feel comfortable. I will make myself feel uncomfortable just so you feel uncomfortable, for you to feel comfortable, right? So I wouldn't tell you if I think it's going to make you uncomfortable. All right. Now, if it was something like the foundation is cracked or something, I will tell you that's 100%. I need to disclose those things. I do not have to disclose haunted houses, though. You were an English teacher. What grammatical error in listing descriptions makes you physically ill? It's not an error. It is actually grammatically correct. What I'm about to tell you is grammatically correct, but it irks me to no end because I know it's AI. I know it's AI. I can't. I've only talked to one agent, and she's told me she uses this. This is a normal thing for her to use, but for most people, and having been an English teacher for over 20 years, and having read so much, I can tell you this is not a natural way for people to write. All right, if you see the dash instead of a comma, that triggers me. That tells me you used AI to write that. And why does it bother me that AI wrote your listing description? Because AI doesn't know about fair housing. All right. And you might be breaking the law. So AI and listing descriptions irk me. If I see a dash, I'm going to immediately think that you used AI to write that. Also, the overabundance of emojis. I can't stand it. I can't stand it. I know a lot of people use them and they use them organically, but that's my thing. The other big grammar error that kind of irks me, not kind of irks me, really irks me. R, A-R-E and O-U-R. Those get interchanged as much as there, and there. And it bothers me because it's not even remotely closed. So that one bothers me. But those are my two big grammar issues. And it's one of them is correct. You can use a dash instead of a comma. You can. It doesn't look right to me, but whatever. You can. All right. If your house could haunt someone, which type of buyer would it choose? This is because you guys knew. These are coming from people who knew that I do haunted attractions. I know this. One, people will get really confused when I tell them that I do haunted attractions and I do scary stuff. I don't like paranormal stuff. I cannot watch paranormal movies. They bother me. I get really super freaked out. I can't sleep at night. If I see like ghost movies, super freaked out at night. I will sleep with my knees up to my chest and like my feet have to be covered. Every night my feet have to be covered anyways because I have this irrational fear that a ghost is going to reach up underneath my bed and grab my feet. So people think because I do haunted attraction stuff that I really like a lot of scary things, and it's not. I do not. I like monsters. I think monsters are cool because those are imaginative, right? But I don't like paranormal kind of things. Reason being because I grew up Catholic, and that the Catholic upbringing was you don't talk about it, or you don't watch that kind of stuff because you're bringing it in. So that kind of stuck. So I don't do that. I don't watch horror movies, like slasher movies. I don't watch slasher movies. Uh, I just don't do a whole lot of stuff that would be considered scary. So when people ask me like if your house could haunt anyone, I don't know because that's not something I really think about. But I guess which type of buyer would it choose? My house is whimsical and spooky. I say spooky. The skull stuff, that's spooky to me. That's not scary, right? That's just spooky. So there's spooky stuff in here. I can see my house choosing another haunter. All right? I can see my house choosing another haunter and wanting another haunter to live here because it's pretty comfortable with all the spooky things. That's what I think. All right. You talk to mentees because like I said, I do mentorships, clients and live audiences every week. Do you ever accidentally call a seller? Do you ever accidentally call a seller a buyer? All the time. All the time. I've also sent messages to listing agents and have asked them how their buyers are when I represent the buyers and they have the sellers. So yeah, it happens all the time. I I am 48 years old and I have brain fog from time to time. So I remember all the important things and my brain goes, buyer, seller, those can interchange. And so it does. It just interchanges. So yeah, that's after, talking to everybody. One, you will also hear me on this channel and in this show, whatever. I will missay things all the time. I will misspeak. I will say I don't know the word. It just happens. Look, I'm an older woman and we do that. So I'm not feeling bad about it, but I just apologize. I'm sorry. It's whatever. Okay. What's the most unhinged thing a client has ever asked you to check for in a house, and did you check? Trying to think. What's the most unhinged thing? 'Cause I think everything has been pretty normal. Like, I've had to check on pipes when it was freezing, right? So that's normal stuff. Um, I don't know. I don't think I have ever been asked to go and look for something that's really crazy. Not at all. Now, I've had my inspector tell me some crazy things. I sold a house in Bartow that was built in the 1920s, and it was one of the luxury homes in the 1920s. So that meant that it was one of the few houses that had a water heater. And back then, water heaters weren't like we see them now. All right. The water heater literally looked like a wooden casket in the attic. You would fill it up with water, and during the day, it would heat up. It's not hot water like we are used to, but it was warmer water. And so they would have this wooden box up there with water, and during the day, it would warm up, and then at night you could take a shower with warm water. So it was kind of weird. He told me, he's like, I found a casket up there. I'm like, excuse me, what? And he laughed and he's like, no, it was a water heater, but it looks like a casket. And he showed me. And sure enough, it looks like a casket. So I haven't been asked to go look at anything weird, but I have seen some weird things. All right. And last question, unless somebody else has a question. Last question is, at what point in the home buying process do you break out? This is somebody that knows about the House of Whimsy. I can't with y'all. You guys are killing me tonight. Okay. So they asked, at what point do you break out the potion bottles, and is it for you or for them? So first of all, this is what they're talking about. My little art store makes these little potion bottles. I've got a whole bunch of them. Things like this, that when you shake them up, they look all pretty and whatnot. So this is what they're talking about. They're talking about these potion bottles. And I'm pretty sure they're talking about the propensity to drink during a transaction. So I will say, bringing out the potion bottles, right, for celebrations. That's what we'll do. And it's for both. All right. So there's one other question that came out, and it happened to do with my personal brand / aesthetic. They asked me, is it hard to lean in to the whimsy and weird? And it is definitely not hard to lean into the whimsy and weird. I am just who I am. Like, you see the glasses, like, this is who I am. I have a hard time not being authentic. I have a hard time not being honest. And one of the big things that I have led my life through is integrity and ethics. So I want you to see me. I want you to know who I am. I want you to know the real me. I'm not going to be fake with you. It's important. It's important for me to authentically show up. So it's not hard for me to lean into those things. I think anything, it was hard for me to know that it was okay. I will say that. I will say that that's probably a good answer to that one. It was hard for me to know that it was okay to be me as a business person. And I went to a lot of people and talked to them about who I am and whether or not I was doing the wrong thing, because I cannot get away from who I am, right? Like this is just me. So, am I in the right line? Am I in the right business? I went through that. I will say that even there's times where I look at what I wear and I think to myself, do I need to present myself a little bit more polished, whimsy? Like, I do that, but I never lean away from the whimsy or the weird. It is what makes me who I am, and it's what draws people to me, the authentic me, right? So, no, I don't find it hard to lean into the whimsy and weird. I find it hard to try to pretend not to be me. And I don't want to do that. All right. All right, my lovelies. This one was crazy. This was a short one. This was crazy. Next week, I'm going to double check my schedule. Next week, I believe we have a special guest. Let me look. Da, 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 da. We do. So next Tuesday, we will be speaking to Lisa Gardner. She is a life insurance agent, and we are going to talk about like how does life insurance impact real estate? What are we talking about? Why do I need life insurance with real estate? So Lisa Gardner is going to come on and she's going to talk to us about real estate. She's going to talk to us about life insurance. I'm going to talk about real estate. But if you have any questions after this and you want to know some more about me, go ahead and submit them. I will I will definitely answer. Even if it's in the middle of a show, I will answer because I don't mind. Like I said, I'm very transparent. I am very open and honest with who I am about what I think and everything else. There's a lot. There's a lot to me, and I kind of am open with that. So feel free to ask any more questions of me. All right, my lovelies. All right, my lovelies. All right. It has been a very long day, so I'm glad that this one's a little shorter. And as always, be happy, be safe, and know that I love you. Because if people can hate for no reason, I can love for no reason. All right, my lovelies. I'll see you next week.